Call this meeting to order. Welcome everyone to our final presentation on the 2016 General Fund budget. I'm Commission President Greg Hartman. Over to my way far left is Jacqueline Paniotto. She's clerk to the board. Immediate left is Vice President of the board, Commissioner Chris Monzel. To my immediate right, County Commissioner Todd Fortune. And to Commissioner Fortune's right is County Administrator Christian Sigmund. We begin every meeting with a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, so please rise. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let me introduce Tom Schneider from Springfield Township. Tom, thank you, and thank you to Springfield Township for hosting us tonight.
Thank you very much, Commissioners, public. On behalf of our Board of Trustees, Gwen McFarland, Joe Hunterlaw, and Mark Burning, we want to welcome you here to the Springfield Township Senior and Community Arts Center. A lot of great programs that happen during the day for seniors, and then in the evenings on weekends, we actually do a lot of things for community programming. Talking about budgets, one of the things we love to boast around here is that our day-to-day operating revenue for the senior center that has kept us open has been our rental program. We actually rent this facility as well as our Grove Banquet Hall out for private functions on the evenings and weekends as well. We've actually been able to generate our entire day-to-day operating revenue and then a portion of our capital and repair costs. So it's actually saved this facility for this community. So it's been a wonderful thing. Anybody wants any information about the township while they're here, we do have information back over there about our rentals, our website, as well as our Art Council's upcoming art show down at the Centennial Barn on November 6th and 7th. If you all are available that evening on the Friday night or Saturday day, we'd love to see you down there. It's going to be down at Centennial Barn down on Compton Road in Valleydale. So I know you want to have fun getting to the county budget, so I'm going to turn you guys loose. So thank you very much and enjoy.
Thank you, Tom. And townships have been experiencing an incredibly challenging time with budgets, and I'm hopeful that our 2016 budget will have a nod to that and will help them in some ways with some of the challenges that they're under with budgets. So we've done things a little differently this year. We used to have staff meetings where we would hear from affected departments about proposed budgets. We've combined that with the public hearings this time. So we're going to be hearing from 4 different departments that receive general funds, and they're going to give us impacts. What we're talking about are the proposed budgets from administration. So the 3 of us as elected county commissioners have not weighed in yet as to what our final budgets will be, and as you might not be surprised to learn, these budgets have a great impact on what our policy priorities are as a county. So we will all be putting our own touches on the budget and expect to pass a balanced general fund budget in the neighborhood of $200 million before Thanksgiving. So this is all part of that process where we get feedback. We get feedback from the public. I would also encourage the public who is not able to be here to weigh in if they can through our website. That's hamilton-co.org. We've received, for the record, numerous comments on budgets and where citizens think we ought to place our focus and our attention. So again, thank you all for being here, and thank you to Springfield Township. I've got one speaker's card tonight, unless there are any other comments by way of welcome from commissioners. Commissioner Monzel?
No comments. Thanks Springfield Township for hosting us tonight. Thank you.
It's always great to be in Springfield Township, and I'm grateful for the township trustees and administrative staff for hosting us, and the people of Springfield Township as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Fortune. I've got one speaker's card tonight, and that is Neil Tillo. Neil, welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. I'm here as a citizen and as a agency representative, someone as a member of the Hamilton County Heroin Coalition. I am thrilled that the commissioners took the lead in establishing this for our community. Unfortunately, we had to do this. Too many people are dying from heroin overdose, and as I talk to a broad swath of the community, from the township law enforcement to to city fire departments, to families, we know this is a very serious problem. 75% of all the heroin abuse starts with painkillers, and these are folks that need our help desperately. We so much appreciate the recent Narcan allocation that the commissioners made to law enforcement and to other agencies to help us save some more lives. I know Talbot House has saved 14 lives the past 15 months with funds from Interact for Health with this. Their funds have run out. That we need to replenish that and continue to do the right thing. And I also noticed the budget submission anyhow from a policy perspective has funds in it for additional heroin, for the Heroin Coalition to fund more treatment services and more related services, and I would strongly support and ask you to consider that in your deliberations, that this is just something that it is an epidemic. It's the #1 cause of accidental death in Ohio. The fentanyl, we had CDC in the last few days in the Hamilton and Brown and other counties. Fentanyl, we're the #1 state in the United States in terms of fentanyl overdoses, which is being mixed with heroin. So we have some special problems here that we really need to address, and we would appreciate your support in trying to do something extra. So, open to any questions. Otherwise,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you for your leadership on the Heroin Coalition. Any questions for Neil, Commissioner Monzel?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Platoon?
No questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Neil. Let's go now then to hear some feedback on the proposed budget, and let's go first to our sheriff, Sheriff Jim Neal. Welcome, Sheriff. Welcome to all the other guys from your department, too.
A lot of them are local. We're in their township. But anyway, to the people that I serve, I just want to say I have your back. I will always have your back. I've been a public servant since 1981 as a deputy sheriff or sheriff, and that's my priority, is service to you, the people of Hamilton County, and God bless you. To the commissioners, I have impact statements respectively, and I vow to continue to be very transparent, to work with each and every one of you on funding public safety in Hamilton County. And God bless you and your mission as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Sheriff, thank you.
Let's go next to domestic relations. I saw them arrive. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. We saw a rainbow on our way over, so we're looking for the pot of gold here, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I shared with the other two that I saw that rainbow too, and it actually came down right where this building is.
We
So
saw it, and Kim Burke had just pulled over and was taking photos. It was interesting.
If we can find the pot of gold,
Well, look.
I'll be in good shape.
Yeah.
So Lisa Garassi, on behalf of Administrative Judge Susan Tolbert, Judge Seavey, and Judge Searcy, thank you for having us in tonight. I wanted to tell you how appreciative we are of the prospective administrative's recommendation for 2016. We want to tell you a little bit about what the court's been up to since last we talked. We recently created a dispute resolution section, and we're hoping to increase our early neutral evaluation program that we told you about last year to include property disputes and also to include all financial considerations for families. Secondly, we have secured a technology grant. I think all of you know about this, but I wanted to show you the cards that we're issuing now to victims of domestic violence to help
Thank
law
you.
enforcement. Sheriff Neal, I'm going to share one with you also and your team. These are cards that are being given to law enforcement when people are called in for domestic violence disputes in civil protective order areas. So the court went out and got a grant for that, trying to be proactive and save general fund dollars.
Who carries these around?
Petitioners who've secured protective orders from our court.
Okay.
So in the past, they carried a 5-page document. We've distilled the information needed for law enforcement to that little card.
And, okay.
So we're moving forward with a couple other initiatives to help self-represented litigants. We are faced with many people who cannot afford the services of attorneys, as you well know, in our court. So what we have decided to do is to help on a two-prong approach. The first prong is improving our website. Currently, our website is one of the best in the city and in the county and in the state as far as being able to help self-represented people. But we are improving that by allowing people to be able to fill out all their documents online and print them. We also have computers and printers at the court that people can use if they don't have access to the internet. We are now in the planning stages of having a legal advice and drafting clinic. And we are involving the 2 local law schools, legal aid, the law library, and our local practitioners in this initiative. And we will be planning to open in March of next year. We're doing all that with our current dollars because we're having a lot of volunteers. And what we will be doing is utilizing some of the space we have in our building to offer services to people who reach 200% of the poverty level and offer them planning for filing divorce, post-decree motions, completing their paperwork, how to proceed in court, that type of stuff. So those are a couple of the things that are coming up in the next year for our court. But we can't do it without our incredible employees of the court. Most of you have come over and visited, and you see all of the staff that we have that are wonderful. But what we're really encouraging you guys to do is to continue on with the plan from the county administrator to you to include a pay raise for all the staff, which we know it's not a huge amount, but it will be helpful to show our appreciation to all the hard work and dedication for the citizens of this county that our staff does every day of the year. So with that, I want to say thank you for what you have looked at so far, and hopefully in the future you will continue to approve our budget.
Well, thank you very much, and pass along our regards to Judge Tolbert. Thank you to your court in specific for the great partnership that you've had with us over more difficult times than we're in now. I think that we should always remember the difficult times that we've been through, and a lot of the sacrifices made by the different courts and by the employees of Hamilton County. Fortunately, things are certainly rosier than they were back in those days. But again, thank you again for that partnership. Commissioner Monzel?
I have no questions. Thanks for coming.
Commissioner Fortune?
Thank you for your report and the innovations that you shared with us this evening. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
It'll be helpful
people
for
to
law
have.
enforcement.
It absolutely will. And that'll go a long way to making people feel comfortable that those orders will be enforced. So hats off to you and the court and the judge for doing that. I did want to say one other thing relative to the salary issue, because in addition to us trying to get our pay ranges to be competitive with other counties around us and to get salaries at a level where they're also competitive with counties around us. As you all know, during the height of the recession, we cut and cut and cut in terms of layoffs of employees to beyond what some people would say was unnecessary right-sizing or adjustment, to where we were cutting into, first all the fat, then the meat, and then the bone of the county. And as we recover from the recession and revenues began to improve, one of the things that I've asked of the administrator, and I'm asking of all the departments as well, is to look ahead prospectively and identify what the right size number is for your operations. I know that there are all manner of operations in the county where they're understaffed, and pay adjustments are helpful, but people are still overworked because they're doing more than one job. And I suspect that the court, that's happening as well. So as we're looking at the ranges, I would just simply ask that you also look prospectively at what the right numbers are, so that we can grow back into what the appropriate levels of staffing are
And
across the board.
we continue to do that. And we do a lot of hybrid jobs. We're currently doing that with one of our positions at the end of this year. But we also look at innovative new things to do to offer better services to the citizens that we all serve.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Nice to see you. Next up, Public Defender Ray Fowler. Welcome, Ray.
Good evening, Mr. Hartman.
We're going to get an update on the construction as well.
Absolutely. Mr. Herbert has a handout of some material we're going to provide to you. And I'm going to start off by thanking all of you for your support for our office. I've been on the job it was 3 years as of August the 1st, and in October of 2012 I went to the State Public Defender Summit. All the county public defenders from Ohio were there. And Tim Young started out by saying Ohio has 87 counties plus Hamilton County, and that's changed now. A great deal of thanks to you for what you've done to bring us into parity with the prosecutor's office and to complete the MOU. The construction, the renovation, or the office space being constructed for our attorneys is close to being finished on the 3rd floor of the Taft Building, and now they're just starting on the 2nd floor. There's musical chairs going on, offices, people are moving from office to office, but anytime you'd like to stop by, the door's open, I'll take you on a tour. The attorneys who are in office spaces are very glad. They've got some privacy. It's a place where they can meet with clients now, and they feel like they're real lawyers. They're not in cubicles anymore. It's a big deal to us. We think it's a big deal to our clients to see this, to respect us professionally for what we've got. And we know with the tight budget how difficult that can be, but it's a big deal to us, and we want to thank you for it. We've seen what the recommended budget is, and one thing we also want to thank you for, I believe, is the increase in assigned counsel fees from $45 to $50. The $45 an hour rate has been there for a long time, I think since 2004. And it's really difficult for a private attorney to run a law office on that kind of money. But what we've done with our panels, we've cut a lot of attorneys off the panel who we thought were not rendering effective assistance of counsel. We've trimmed the budget down, or the number of them down. We think we have pretty good people. We tweak them every year. In fact, right now, we're taking our application process in. They had to be in by October the 2nd, I think, was our cutoff date. So by December 1st, we'll tell people who we want back on our panels. We get input from all the judges. We ask them to let us know. They don't want to say, I don't like this attorney, or if they have some attorneys they think we should add, we'll be happy to meet with them and listen to them. We supervise these panels in terms of making sure that the attorneys have malpractice insurance, that their CLE is current, and we insist on them being inside the I-275 Beltway, because it's not fair to ask our clients to go forever to the ends of the earth to find an attorney. And we had some games being played on us when we first looked into it. There was an attorney in Lebanon who claimed to have an office in Reading, Ohio. Well, we checked into it. It's like a slum property he owns. And it's like, no, those people are gone. We won't accept those attorneys anymore. It's just not fair to the clients. So we want to thank you for that. We think that there will be an additional $1.3 million of revenue now that the state is going to this 48% reimbursement rather than the 40%, which we think is a help to the county. We want to remind you that we've generated an additional $336,000 through the pretrial services, getting them, the state PD, to allocate some reimbursement for that. And reducing assigned counsel fees by us taking more cases in-house, we think in the past year has saved $131,000. That said, there's something I want to show you. It's attached to my document there, is our Fresh Start Clinic. I joined what's called the National Association for Public Defense. I went to a 3-day program at the end of June up in Valparaiso, Indiana, and they are so impressed with our Fresh Start Clinic that they have a national magazine. That article's been run in the national magazine as a model for other public defender offices across the country. Then we've got some numbers there, the number of people we've helped expunge their records. I think 2015 so far, we've had 1,089 cases eligible people had their records expunged. And part of the benefit to the county is if they can get their records cleared. If you sat in with us and saw this almost to a person, I want to get a job, I want to get a job, I got to get this record gone. And if they can do that, hopefully they don't go visit with Sheriff Neal in his facility, because they can work and make a living. For people, we run into a lot of people who can't get their records sealed, but we've partnered with Cincinnati Works, and they've indicated they've got sometimes more jobs than they have people. And even if somebody with a record, they can place, depending on the nature of the offense, even if the numbers are too high. So we hand out that material. We run our clinic the first and third Wednesday of each month from 1 to 4. We were doing it at 230 East 9th Street. Now we've moved it over to the Court Street location while the construction's going on. But we think that's a big help to the community, and we're proud of that.
Rick, how do you advertise? How do people know that exists?
We have some flyers that go out. We have Cheryl Horner's our mitigation specialist. Cheryl kills me sometimes. She goes on the radio a night or two before the clinic, and then we get inundated. I say, Cheryl, go the weekend before, not the night before, because I mean it's a little bit difficult when people start showing up at 11:30, 12:30, and they'll sit, and we start out with 25 people ready to go. We can probably process about 40 on a busy day in that 3-hour window, and then we have to tell people, you see the line, you might be here for an hour and a half. So if we, she goes on different radio stations, goes into different community centers. We post flyers. We've got a flyer we put up the day of the clinic in the Taft Center. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. We put an easel up telling them that we've moved, but we just try different things. We also have a banner we've got, and we went to the Juneteenth Festival, the Black Family Reunion, and Harvest Home Festival. We manned a booth all those days, and we hand out information about the clinic. I have a friend over at Cincinnati Behavioral Services. The director's a doctor named Tracy Scale, and I've given her material. She loves it. She passes it out to patients that they see who psychiatric issues, but they also have some criminal history, and we just do whatever we can to get the word out to the community. And we never have a slow day. We have business all the time for that. I'm sorry?
We have this Ohio Means Job Center, so down Central Parkway, there might be another place to
Okay.
advertise for folks.
We'll be happy
Trying to
to.
get a job that might need to get explained.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, reentry was very interesting one too.
The county's reentry program.
Okay.
Deanna Hoskins, do they have?
Yes, Deanna has that. Yes, I know her. Yes. And any place, we'll be happy to take it out. We have attorneys rotate through that. They give it their own time. We do a preliminary scan. We've got several staff members. We run the computer checks. We look at the cases, and if we think they're eligible, we file. Sometimes it overwhelms the clerks and the judges. And a lot of people have things that were charges that were dismissed that they can get sealed up, and we do that for them. I guess one of the funniest ones was we had a guy came in, he had a conviction in the late 60s and had nothing else on his record. And like, why can't we get this guy expunged? And it was because he'd spent the last 35 years in federal prison for bank robbery. So that's why he had nothing new. We could, I don't know if we sent him to Cincinnati Works or not, but he wanted to.
Was he eligible to get that expunged?
No, there's no expungement in the federal court system. But for that, he was eligible. Like, wow, nothing since 1968. And then when somebody questioned him, well, what have you been doing? Well, I had to do this 35-year sentence for robbing a bank. So there's a little humor in it. The last thing I'd like to call to your attention is we've seen what the proposed budget is, but the MOU put us in parity with the prosecutor's office, and unbeknownst to us, they had a fairly significant pay raise. And we found out through our younger attorneys, I think it was in our juvenile division, who came back one day and said, wow, prosecutors let us know they got a nice raise, the entry-level people. And they rubbed our noses in it pretty good, so, well, we'll take a look at it. We've done a budget analysis, and to bring our attorneys into pay parity now with what the prosecutors are asking, we're asking for about another $327,000, which will be a net to the county of about $170,000 when you consider the reimbursement from the State Public Defender Office. The state's aware of it. The state is aware of what a fantastic job you've done complying with the MOU. What we're hoping to do is not fall far behind. Joe Dieters, I think, wrote an op-ed or opinion about needing that pay raises for entry-level attorneys, and we have the same thing. We've got these young attorneys coming out of law school with huge debt, and they've got law degrees. They are looking for a decent living to make, and so we're going to ask you for that increase to cover that. We'd also ask, if you don't mind, we've had some savings. We could raise them for the last 3 pay periods of this year with the savings that we still have in our budget, because we've tried to be very frugal with our budget. Other than that, all right, thank you very much.
No questions, thank you.
No questions, Ray, but I will comment just as a matter of the record on this. In the prosecutor's pay raise issue, I disagree very strongly with what happened there. There was a case where the prosecutor just simply went in, said that he needed the raise, and got the money. There was no, because he can. And that's not how you run a county, and that's not how you balance a budget. So I appreciate the position that you're in and why you're asking what you're asking, but I'll tell you as a matter of policy, what happened in the prosecutor's office is not anything that was pre-planned or approved in terms of budgeting by the county. He just came in and took and did. And that was after starting off the year by going to the judges and getting additional money on top of what the office was budgeted for, simply because he could. And it's that kind of action that puts our entire budget in jeopardy when we work very hard with all of our departments, department heads, and independently elected officials to collaborate and to cooperate, and it works. It's a tenuous balance, but it works when everybody works together. But those kinds of actions, and independent unilateral actions, throw the entire budget process off balance, and we no longer have a budget at that point. So again, I appreciate all the work that you're doing. I know why you've asked for what you've asked for, and why the attorneys feel the need for the money. But to be on parity or pay parity with the prosecutor's office, there's a reason why their pay raises went up, and it didn't have to do with good government or managing budgets well.
I understand.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Last up tonight, we've got county facilities. Ralph Lynn. Hi, Ralph.
Yes, good evening. I have for you all a copy of the presentation. That way you
I didn't bend my neck to.
You need one of those telescopes that you had when you were a kid.
Whoops. You got me back. I'm sorry about that. I did have asked one of my employees to come tonight, John Nestor. He just was promoted to the Assistant Projects and Trades Manager. So if you're not happy with the plumbing, painting, or anything, call him. If you are very happy with the results, yes. Well, I just want to do a quick overview. We basically are one of the largest counties in the state. We have over 3 million square feet, over 20 major buildings, and you name it, I have one of those, and some of them are two of those things. Over the years, our operating budget is roughly $12 million the last couple of years, and we've been doing this year about $2 million of capital work, not including finishing up the performance contracting. One thing I try to do in this department since I came, I used to work in a previous life in a utility in the private sector, was benchmarking energy usage. And that's one of the goals we've had, and it's taken good 10 years to get to where I want to be. But right now we're tracking our 13 major buildings. We have 5 that has Energy Star awards. We may be able to get 2 more. The other ones we can't because the 911 center, they don't give it. They don't give it for patrol headquarters. They don't give it for the coroner's facility. And they won't let me do the courthouse because we save money by having the boiler in the courthouse serving the Justice Center. So, but we do rate them, and almost all of them are over 75, and you'll get that come May next year when I put out the annual energy report, and it'll show you how we're doing in those areas. The big thing that we've done.
I'm sorry, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Has our energy cost then gone down?
That I will be coming to. Yes.
Sorry.
The answer is going to be yes. Energy savings through performance contracting. We have just implemented the final phase 2. Phase 1 and 1A were completed. You should be getting a report in November or December for a 1-year evaluation of phase 1, and they're in the process of finishing that. We have gotten quarterly reports, and we have been beating the target on usage, which means the dollar savings has been as projected. We have started ongoing monthly monitoring of usage using our Archibus software, and the building managers are being held accountable as to the amount of energy, and that means water, natural gas, and electricity. The impact in 2016 on my budget is across the board, and it's been the ones I've had every year, is the service contracts, what we already do when we go out for multi-years, the increase that was approved in the contracts, we have to meet those. We are already seeing a 3 to 5% or more increase in the quotes and bids we're getting. Cost of materials is going up in the private sector, and I think you're starting to see increase in costs in labor. Natural gas, in fact, I came back, I was in Columbus today for the annual meeting with the CCAO Service Corporation. I'm on the executive committee. And natural gas is going to stay at the low level it was in 2016. We saw it in early 2015. Maybe in 2017, but it is as low as it can go. We will start to see increases, and I'll be being up John Brugan in 2017-18 for more money. No one knows where it's going to go. There's too many things tied to it, the weather. The advantage that we got right now 51 counties in the national gas program. Electrical, we go out for a 3-year contract. We bid it this year and awarded it in July, and for the buildings that's under facilities, we only increased by $20,000, and we got a flat rate for 3 years. That same cost savings was achieved with the stadiums and a county engineer and DDS, so they were all part of us going out. The one area that I can't control much of is, and neither can you, is the increase in sewer and water costs, and those has been factored into our request for 2016. And same thing, as I said, materials, we're seeing increases across the board. The big thing has saved my budget over the years is we have close to $500,000 savings between 2012 and 2014 due to going out for bid on electricity. We went out in 2012 for 3 years, and that savings was reflected in those numbers, as well as we're seeing the savings in 2014, and we will in 15 for the reduced usage with the performance contracting. And that's been done in all our buildings with the exception of the Corners facility. It didn't make sense to do it with us looking for a new facility, putting us out for 10 years into debt. The impact on service level, no change. That's good and that's not good. The negative is I will be needing some vehicles. We've been working on a 5-year replacement plan. We're at the point, though, we'll be coming to you all probably for sure in 2017. This year, we did some exterior cleaning of the buildings, windows. We eliminated everything except for over at the jail and 222. JFS pays for that through our reimbursement. Office cleaning will still remain at 3 days a week. That the restrooms are being hit in some of the public areas, but the offices. It's been that way for about 6 years. Our preventive maintenance tasks, they're not being performed, and the impact that we have is things may break when we would caught it sooner, but the life expectancy of the equipment is not as long as it used to be. And we're going to see that start to creep up in the next, say, 5 to 6 years as we start to replace items that should have maybe another 4 years of life after that. The other thing that is a problem is, we're down to the minimum number of local 20 maintenance workers in each of the buildings. To a point, if somebody's sick or on vacation, we got to steal somebody from another building to come over and cover it, or it doesn't get done until the person comes back. The other thing that's happening as a result of that, it affects all across the way, is long lead times in getting things done. And most people are recognizable of that. We do keep track of our outstanding work orders, and anything that gets over 90 days, I usually have a talk with Tony Montre, or in this case, John Nestor's been getting the question asked to him as to why something has not been done in 90 days. And figure out, does it make sense, or it makes sense that we have to do it to have to go outsource it and bring an outside contractor or vendor to do it. The one area we're in trouble, we're down to only one painter, one plasterer, and one HVAC tech, and he just turned in his notice that he is retiring January 31st. And we're out, have posted the position, and we will probably overlap for a month or two to have somebody trained, but a lot of knowledge. Right now, about 30% of my department can retire, as of today. And that's approximately 20 people, well, I'll say within the next 2 years. What we have on our capital side is the roof at 800 Broadway. That will be going out for bid. That's about an $800,000 project. The pedestrian ramps at 250, turned out that there's not enough masons in Cincinnati to get the work done this time of year. The cost went up, so we are rebidding that. Both the Board of Health and Environmental Services are well aware of it. We're in the process of identifying how bad the 2 roofs on the courthouse is damaged. We have found that the roof over the law library is also, will need to be involved in that replacement, and we're in the process of getting a better estimate of the impact. Projects for 2016, as you know, is the Coroner's Crime Lab. I want to get started as soon as I can. Looking forward to doing that. The renovation of the data center is basically consolidating everything in the courthouse, getting stuff off the 9th floor. That's in the process of getting the final estimate being put together on that, and verifying the scope with the courts. The other thing that I'd like to see done in 2016 is take a good look as to who's where, who needs to go where, and try to get the best usage of our space in our downtown buildings. And as we know from the report that you received from the county administrator, we probably will need about $137 million over the next 5 years. And on top of that, about $500,000 needs to be done annually in the courthouse. The plaster, we've been losing it. We haven't touched anything. Like I said, I got 1 painter, 1 plasterer. And brass work needs to be clean. And the anniversary is coming up in about 3 years of the dedication.
Ralph, the projected for the next 5 years, 137, is that kind of the everything, or is there still more out there that?
There's more out there. In a 20-year plan, we are looking at about $500 million. And that is your building envelope. That's your tuck pointing, your roofs, your mechanical systems. Does not include carpet, does not include painting, does not include furniture, equipment. Yes, yeah, yes. And everything is based on the time period, based on bonding, the anticipated life of it. And as we evaluate what we need every year, we basically say, okay, with our consultants, can it last 1 or 2 more years? So we push it out as far as we can. And that also assumes a 3% escalation every year.
So the $500,000 annually for the courthouse improvements,
That's a $4 million project just to do all the painting by itself. Doesn't include anything else. I'm putting together a total package of the improvements that we would like to have done for Mr. Ludo, and should have that to him in about a week or 2. But it's going to be somewhere around $8 to $10 million, including tuck pointing in the front of the building, taking care of all the roofs, replacing the windows. That's $2 million. They're over 100 years old.
Well, nothing like ending on a bright spot. Well, we should have started with that.
Yes.
So we only need to come up with a couple $100 million to fix our existing buildings.
Or we could sell them. We could sell them and start from scratch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, I've asked my own. Thank you.
I'm afraid to ask a question.
Everyone I got worse.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Hey, Chris, thank you for letting me have that opportunity to present my needs.
Anyway, thank you again all for being here, for the presentations and the reactions to this proposed budget. By way of schedule, we'll now get to work as county commissioners on these proposals. I'm going to come forward with some of my thoughts next week, and we'll go from there. And ultimately, we will be balanced. That's one thing I know for sure. I think there'll be some good things in this budget. As we've seen, budgets are still tight, I think, as they should be, as our citizens expect. We are not, in the dark ages like we were a number of years ago. So I think we can make investments for the future. Importantly, investments in the people that work for him in the county that help us weather those storms. So I look forward to that process. And if there's nothing more, we adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Commissioner Monzel?
Yes.
Commissioner Fortune?
Yes.